Why am I nervous? We're all friends. We have been for a long time. Why am I nervous? Good afternoon. I am live, and it's been a long time since I've been live, but here we are. Here we are. Is anybody watching me? What I've done is I've got my other phone as well, so I can make sure I'm not going to miss any comments, hopefully, I think. Oh, here we go. I can see comments now. Oh, hello. Hello, Emily, Donna. Hello. Good afternoon. Kieran Atkinson. Good afternoon, Roy Anthony, Mohammed Imran, Kirsty Martina. Hello. Thank you for joining me. I just thought, well, let's rip off the band-aid. Let's try and do a hello, how are we? How have we all been? Let me turn that light off. It's not, yeah, there we go. We don't need it, do we? Good afternoon here in the UK. Good morning, good evening, wherever you're watching me from. It's been a hot minute, hasn't it? So what's been going on in your world? If you want to tell me, put it in the comments. I can see it on the other phone that's in front of me. And if you want to ask me anything, then please do. The hair might be a good place to start. I am embracing the grey. We are going cold turkey. So we are completely growing out the grey. Unless I can fly over to California and have the genius that is Mr. Jack Martin transfer me to silver in a day, then we're going cold turkey. So we're completely growing the roots out, so you're going to be bearing with me. Yeah, so there we go. It is lovely to be live with you. I don't really know what I'm going to say. I don't know what you're going to ask me, but feel free to ask me whatever you wish. And yeah, here I am. What has been happening? Okay, so I fell poorly on the 23rd of March, and I've been in hospital several times, and I am under investigation, being investigated. So it's a process of elimination, and it is some kind of neurological condition, disorder. However, the tests that they've done to rule out eliminations, they think it's one thing, so they test you for that, then it's not that, then they think it's something else, they test you for that, it's not that. Long story short, my urgent referral to see a neurologist with the National Health came through, and it was for the 1st of November 2024. So I made a complaint to the PALS service. They told me to do that. So they gave me an earlier appointment of the 1st of October 2024. So I decided I would go private. So I paid £300, and my brother took the day off work and took me along with our Joanne, my mum. I'd actually paid to go and see a neuropsychologist. Nobody told me that he wasn't a neurologist. I assumed I had bought an appointment to see a neurologist, but he was a neuropsychologist who just spoke to me for a full hour. And then at the end of it, I thought my brother were going to throw me in the river. He kept looking at me and saying, what the hell are we doing here? And I'm thinking, I don't know. Anyway, long story short, at the end of it, he said, feel free to come back and see me anytime. And I thought, 300 fucking quid, of course you're going to say that. Long story short, I ended up going into my doctor's and making a bit of a show really, because I'm so unwell and my symptoms are not being managed at all, and I cannot wait for this appointment on the 1st of November 2024. So I went into my doctor and I said, I'm going to make another private appointment with a Dr. Harry Tucker. He said, why are you doing that? I said, because he's at Beardwood Hospital, which is local, and he's free on 26th of June. This was in May. And he said, but you haven't got epilepsy, Antonella. To which I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, he's a specialist for epilepsy. I said, no, he's a neurologist. And he said, yeah. He said, you need to see somebody, Antonella, that specialises in your symptoms. So I want you to go and see Dr. Tahir Majid. He's a specialist in dystonia, which is how you're presenting to me. He said, I have a lot of patients that present like you do. He said, and they're on a special tablet. It's a controlled drug, but I can't prescribe it because I'm only a GP. That terrified me when he said, I can't prescribe it for you because I'm only a GP. I can't help you because I'm only a GP. Now, I have got a little bit of intelligence, but for people who haven't got a voice and for people who can't, then it worries me as to where we're at. So he advised that I go and see Dr. Tahir Majid. So I did. Once again, my brother took the day off work again. Joanne, my mum, come along with me. This appointment now was cheaper than the neuropsychologist. It was £250. When you start paying for things private, you'll realise that everything is £250. I told him that I'd been to see a neuropsychologist, and he said, oh, why did you do that? I said, I haven't got a fucking clue, because I'm very unwell. But then he said to me, I bet he was quite expensive. I said, he was 50 quid more than you. Why not just buy hair dye? No, I'm never dyeing my hair ever again as long as I live. I am embracing the grey. I'm going completely cold turkey. If you don't like what you see, please don't look, because this is how it is. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of people live on other platforms, so don't upset yourself here and put yourself off your Sunday roast. Back to my appointment with Dr. Tahir Majid. So he did all the tests. He told me to stick my tongue out, go for a walk, had a look at my symptoms because I'd been keeping a diary. And he's 90% sure that I presented to him with Parkinsonisms and dystonia. So he gave me the medication baclofen, and I started that then on a I had to wait till Tuesday because his secretary was on holiday and it was bank holiday, of course. So I started on the baclofen. 2 weeks of the first initial dose. The side effects were rather difficult, but not as debilitating as my symptoms. So anyway, long story short, they're 90% certain that I've got early onset Parkinson's. So I'm sharing that with you now. What I now need is a DAT scan. You can't pay private for them. You have to wait on the NHS, and I'm on the list, and every morning I ring at 8 o'clock and pretend that I'm sat on Preston car park. Is there a cancellation? There isn't. And I'm being managed at the moment by the baclofen. My life is ruled at the moment by my medication. Every day is different. Do the symptoms affect me still before the baclofen? No, I'm making improvements. But that it's not getting better. So once the scan is performed. It's a DAT scan that checks your dopamine levels. If my dopamine levels are low, then yes, they confirm it is Parkinson's disease. And he seems to think that I've probably had it for maybe 10 years before I've actually found that it's quite disabling, and I'm struggling with it now. A lot of the symptoms you just bat off because there's something and nothing. So if it's not that, then he will then refer me to a very good friend of his, he said, who will then look at other things with me. So that's where we're at. That's where my health is. I've not fallen down the Google rabbit hole because, yeah, I mean, it's good to get support and it's good to speak to people in the know, but you can't really trust everything on Google, can you? So I've been trying to do lots of self-help, which has been the exercises. Already started on the medication for the dystonia, which I find is helpful. I'm taking my CBD gummies and lots of vitamins, eating really well, resting, sleeping and listening to my body. And until I've had the DAT scan, there's nothing more that can be done. If they do confirm it's Parkinson's disease, which I feel they may, it's no longer a death sentence. Research and medication has come on leaps and bounds. If you Google it, it says that you could die 20 years from the diagnosis, and that's why I shut the laptop off and thought I'm not interested, I'm not bothered, I'm not looking at that. So until we know, there's no point worrying about what we don't know, because just worry about today, don't we? Because I might get run over with a bus tomorrow and then it'll be fuck all to do with what's wrong with me today. So we'll just take it in our stride. So I'm finding now that the medication at full dose is, it is ruling my life a bit because it's every 4 hours. So you've got that first hour to kick in. Then you've got your good 2 hours, then you've got your hours where it starts wearing off, and good God do I know about it. So if you want to know what do I feel about it, I don't know. Am I mad? A little bit. Am I frustrated? Very much so. And that's because I've no patience, and they say that you get more patience as you get older. That's not happened to me. I'll be 50 in March and I've no patience. If anything, I've less patience. So yeah, is there somebody on here that really does not like my hair? Because you don't have to look at it. I'm happy with it, because I'm going to go as cold turkey as I can. I've had about 10 inches cut off it, as you can see. I'm washing it every other day with a clarifying shampoo so that it'll try and start lifting. How old am I? 50, so 20, 30 years worth of dye on this hair. So yeah, so you'll see it in all states, but I'm moving over to the silver side. So that's the health update. If you've got any questions or, you know, please ask me. That's what I'm here for. How does it affect me when my medication's wearing off? Okay, so with the dystonia, I struggle with my speech. I think we're about an hour and a half off it wearing off. So my vocal cords tighten, so I've been doing vocal cord exercises every morning, and then my speech is it's not very good, and I've got a resting tremor in my right side in my leg. My hand seems to have a little bit of a tremor, but not so you'd notice, and my close friends and family have said, oh, you can't really tell, and it might look worse. It might feel worse because I feel it, but they say it's not that bad. My cramping, so the whole of my right leg cramps, and my toes on my right foot go right under, and my big toe comes up and gives me a thumbs up. And then the pain when the cramping is relieved is not good, really tender. I've fallen because I've got stuck in certain positions, so my body's sticking. I'm not able to move as much in bed, so I've been stuck a few times, and I sleep alone, so and I've got lower back pain and shoulder pain. So what else? I think that's enough, isn't it, really? There is other symptoms like excessive weeing, bladder problems. I'm incontinent anyway, but I didn't realise that me being incontinent was something I've probably had for a long time, which is an early symptom of Parkinson's. I've had no sense of smell for 12 years. That's an early symptom of Parkinson's. Yeah, so anyway, have anybody got any questions? Because I don't, oh, memory, bloody hellfire. Yeah, my short-term memory is shocking, and I really struggle to retrieve words, struggle finding the right words. So I've already, with a speech and language therapist, John, so thank you, I'm already doing that. Yeah, it is nice to be back, and thank you for joining me. I didn't know if anybody would want to see me, but I thought, you know what, rip the band-aid off and say hello. So here I am. So you've had a little bit of a health update, but I don't know where we go from here, and I don't know what's going to happen, but it is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is. We've just got to wait for that DAT scan. I ring every morning at Preston and I'll say, "Hi, it's Antonella Brellini, is there any cancellations?" And she says no, and then I say thank you. Sometimes I'll say, "Hiya, I'm at Car Park. Have you got anything?" Needless to say, they haven't got my sense of humour. But I've not lost that. I've certainly not lost that. I've lost what have I lost? Movement. Movement's not great. I've tried to walk without my stick a few times and ended up having conversations with the pavement. So I'm not walking as well as I should, or as well as I am continuing to walk though, because walking is very good, exercise is very good. But that's it really. So yeah, that's that. That's where I am. So we'll just wait and see. And I just think, good God, if it's not that now on this bloody scan, what else could it be? So, yeah. So they've ruled out a whole host of neurological conditions, and the 90%, I mean, Dr. Tahir, Dr. Majid, sorry, what a lovely, lovely, lovely man. Yeah, all the questions I asked and the answers he gave me, he had more than enough time. He was lovely and very helpful, and he just said, if you have Antonella, which I'm 90% certain you have, you'll stay with me. And if you haven't, he said, I have a very, very good friend, he said, and I will transfer you to him. And we only know, I think he said, we only know 20% of the brain. And yeah, Helen Parson, interesting. FND has been thrown around a lot, functional neurological disorder, but my CT scan showed what did it show? Deterioration of some neurons. So had I have had no deteriorations of the neurons, then it could have been FND, which can mask a lot of neurological symptoms, and it can display like MS or ME, fibromyalgia, Parkinson's disease. It can do a whole load of things, but a functional neurological disorder means there's fuck all wrong with the software. It just means there's problems with the hardware. Simple. That's your Auntie Nellie's simple way of understanding it. There is something not quite right in the software. They just don't know what. So, yeah. So they've been really good. They've looked at everything. First of all, they checked stroke again, mini stroke, MRI, checked to see if I had lesions, and that's when they said, oh, do you know you've got quinine edema or something in your back? I said, yeah, I know. So I've already got back injuries and stuff, but anyway, yeah, I'll just go with what they say. So I don't know what I've got, but I've not got FND, I've not got MS, I've not got fibromyalgia. Oh God, there's such a lot of things that they check you for. They check you for lupus and all sorts. What have you been diagnosed with? Sorry, Jackie, I missed that. I think apathy as well is an indicator of whatever's going on. But I haven't got MS, I promise I haven't got MS. Apathy, I've been going through. FND, have you, Jackie? Do you know Lorraine Kelly's the ambassador for FND? And there's such a lot of things. Support groups for FND, and you need to be in them because some people make you feel like you're lying, apparently. So what's the first thing that made you think I'm actually not alright? That's it. Quad equina. Well, I've had quad equina for years, David. Do you know what? I think it was I no longer had kind of control of my right arm. I was having to manoeuvre myself in a way that wasn't, I would normally, like when I was using the laptop, I couldn't just use my hand, and so my right arm was heavy, like really heavy, like I'm carrying a bag of shopping, but a full bag of shopping. It's like that now. So the heaviness and the shoulder pain and the neck pain, and I couldn't quite straighten up. But I couldn't understand if I had shoulder pain because my neck were not right, or my neck were painful because my shoulder weren't right, and my right leg, which I don't think you can see, and I don't want to start moving camera about because it'll go off, I won't be able to pick it up. My right leg, when I'm at rest, has a tremor. So yeah, so I think that was the first thing where I thought, oh, there's something that's not bloody right here. So I just went and said, there's something not right with me, will you have a look at me? And they did a few tests and said, oh, you might be under a bit of stress or anxiety. Are you still taking your sertraline? I said, yeah. And they said, well, why don't you up the dose a bit, see how you go? I said, okay. Then a couple of days later, I couldn't straighten up. My neck wouldn't straighten up, and my shoulder wouldn't straighten. I couldn't straighten up, and my right arm was stuck. So I thought, oh, there's something not bloody right here. Anyway, I phoned. I don't know who I phoned. I don't know if I phoned doctors. Anyway, next news, I'm in hospital. And then they went through all these tests. And I were in resus because they said I were poorly. And then I got this urgent referral to neurology and it come through for 1st of November 2024. So I phoned them and I said, I think you've typed it wrong. And they said, no, we haven't. That's urgent. Will you complain to PALS? So I complained because they said, and then I got another appointment for 1st of October 2024 and I thought, oh, hellfire. I can't be like this. I can't straighten up. What the friggin' hell's going on? But the pain weren't like a pain. It was more because, you know, when you've been in one position and you move a bit and you think, oof, like that, like a tender thing more than like a pain. So anyway, long story short, I went private, paid £300 for fuck all, and then went and seen Dr. Tahir Majid, and I'm just waiting for this scan. But I've already started on the medication for what I feel is the most disabling symptom, which is the dystonia and the bradykinesia. So that's helping. But like I say, at the moment my life's ruled with medication. But I am on the full dose now, and I've been on the full dose now going on for 4 weeks. So the side effects now, they've gone. Side effects were horrific at first. But yeah, that's where we're at. So have I missed any questions? Because it's lovely to be here with you. My hair's drying now because I've once again done the clarifying shampoo, trying to get rid of this 30-year build-up of hair dye. As we move over to the silver side. Well, Joe Asprey, if you live in the Lancashire area, my neurologist is Dr. Tahir Majid, and he's a specialist for Parkinson's and dystonia. So you've got to be careful on the neurologist you pick in as well, because they all specialise in different fields. So I were nearly going to press pay to see Dr. Harry Tucker, again, a different neurologist, but I'm glad I didn't because he only specialises in epilepsy and I don't have that. So yeah, anybody with a dysfunction, a neurological condition, I send my heart out to you because every day is different, I'm finding. Hello Karen Carpenter and Janet. Hello my girls. Come and see me anytime. Sertraline, I'm on 100 milligrams. What does Olivia say? Let's talk about Olivia. Olivia is my little girl, who I call Lula. My Lula will be 28 in October. What does she say? She said, absolutely blow it, Mum. I'm moving back up north. So my Olivia is moving back up the north at the end of July, 31st of July. She hands her keys in to the landlord in that there London, and she's moving back up north. She's finishing her masters. No, she's finished her masters, sorry, I apologise. She's an art therapist for special educational needs children, and she's been teaching ever since passing her graphic design, didn't she? And then she specialised in special educational needs with art therapy. Anyway, she's now head of art and music at Ashcroft College in Stockport, and she starts on the 7th of August. She hands her keys in and she's coming back up north to look after her mum, I think, to be a little bit closer, because I think the older you get as well, you realise what's more important. And off she went to that there London 11 years ago, and I think she's all partied out. I will read all your comments after, in case I'm missing them. Yeah, so she's moving back up north, her, Ben, Hartley, Bambi and Mr. Jones. So I'll be able to say to you, I'm going seeing Olivia, and it's only an hour away. I'll be able to go on like a Saturday and spend a day and come back home. So yeah, I'm beyond proud of that little girl that I carried for 9 months. How on earth I made such an exquisite human, I'll never know, but she's the one thing I can always say I'm most proud of anything. So that's what Olivia has to say about it. I'm coming back up north, Mum. So Olivia's on her way back up north, handing her keys then back up. So if anybody knows of any properties, because it's driving us mad, because she's struggling to find a rental that will take animals. And it's like I said to her, well, of course, because if you've 10 people wanting your property and they've no animals, they're going to get priority, aren't they? It's just the way of the world. You can be really fussy, can't you, now as a landlord? So she's looking for properties in the Cheadle area because where she starts a new job, head of art and language. No. No. Head of art and music. So she's the head of her own department at Ashcroft Inscape House School. And it's in Cheshire, Cheadle, Cheshire, SK. I don't know. So if anybody knows anything, feel free to inbox me. We've got little Hartley Blues 11. Bambi is a little baby, but they're such beautiful little babies. They don't eat the house. But that's where we're at. So she's on her way. She's looking to move. Hello, Marco. Paul Douglas, when we get in a review, right, well, I've washed my hair. Obviously, I keep clarifying it to get rid of 30 years worth of dye as light as I can. Because I'm moving on to the silver side, but I'm waiting for a straightening. I'm waiting for this thing to review. So there you go. I haven't got fibromyalgia, and I'm just taking the medication from the neurologist, the baclofen, which is a controlled drug. I'm not needing to take painkillers because it's not that kind of pain. So I don't know how to explain it. I'm just taking what they advise me. I have been told I'm okay with my CBD gummies. Started them years ago with my anxiety and found them to be really helpful. But as I'm coming up to have the DAT scan, they contact you to let you know, because Mum was like, well, I'll come. And I was like, you can't come, Mum, because she's had cancer. So because I'll be full of so I can't remember the name, but that's okay. Anyway, whatever it is, and then for 24 hours after my scan, I'll not be able to go near pregnant women or children. I know that. And they also tell you what medication to stop. So because they're checking for dopamine levels, so if my dopamine levels are low, with everything else they've seen, then it is Parkinson's. I did say to the neurologist, is it early onset? And I think he just laughed. There's me still thinking, because you can have young onset, but I think the young onset, they don't see those patients because the symptoms are manageable without thinking there's anything wrong. That's it, I'll be full of radiation. Why did you decide to grow grey? I've had enough. I've had enough. Do you know what? You can't tell anybody either, and there's no right time frame, but you know yourself, you get to a point where you just think, you know what, fuck it. Enough's enough. I ain't coming here every 3 weeks paying 60 DAT scan and a DAT scan, DAT scan. I don't know what it is at Rest at World, that's what we call it here, and it can only happen on NHS, they don't do it private. So, I don't know where I were now. Yeah, thank you, Emma Ferry. That's another thing that's happening a lot. So, I don't feel that I'm firing on full cylinders yet to do my Sunday service or my night time with Alice, so you'll have to bear with me. I tried my chat magazine a few times and we've had to hang up because, yeah, anyway, it don't matter, does it? It don't matter, I'm alright. As my hair's drying, I'm looking more and more like Hagrid. You thought he'd passed, didn't you? Here he is. Don't you worry. Yeah, every day I'm taking it step by step because every day is different. And but believe me when I say today is a really good day because I can string a sentence together. I'm not as twisted and clawed. My hand isn't clawed, my foot's not clawed. That's it really. So, do they have doctors that prescribe I don't know what that is. Well, Deanna Hughes, that's a really good question. So, I'm not driving because I haven't been well enough to drive, so I'm using my common sense, but nobody's took my licence off me. The minute that that I get a diagnosis, whatever that may be, then I will have to report that to the DVLA, and then they decide then whether, I think they contact your neurologist and take it from there. Please recommend me, please. I really need your support and I will pay back. Pay what? What do you want me to pay, Flower? Yeah, we're not paying, that's banned. I'd love to go grey. Oh, yeah, so I was saying, why do you want to go grey, Nelly, when you can just get your roots done? Well, I've had enough. I've had enough of getting my roots done every 3 weeks. I wish I'd have never got it retouched after lockdown. If you remember, in lockdown I went grey. Well, I didn't go grey, I am grey. I had to stop having my hair coloured because my hair, everybody did, didn't they, in lockdown? And I wish I'd have never, I don't really know what I'm saying now. I wish I hadn't caved in lockdown. No, after lockdown, and had it coloured again, because I'd have been where I wanted to be, really, where I want to be. I'd have been where. Yeah, my mum's okay. Thank you. This is happening a lot, but it's all right. You haven't to worry about it. Yeah, I've had my hair coloured for 30 years. I went grey when I was 19. I'm 49. So, I've stopped now. That's it. I have stopped. I've stopped it. So, come with me on the Silver Sister journey, or don't if you don't like. But I've had enough. It will not be happening again. Won't be getting my roots done. I am going cold turkey. If they're able to lift this to a colour where it can be, silver can be added or greys can be added, but they did lift a strand of it and it went to a 7 or something, whatever that means. And with not working at the moment, I certainly don't have money to be flying over to California to seeing the legend, the genius that is Mr. Jack Martin, the colourist. So yeah, so we're just going cold turkey for now. If that does lift to like a 0, they'll be able to do something. But the start, I've had 10 inches cut off, which has been a massive thing. So yeah, so there we go. When I finish this, if you've only just joined, then please go back and watch it from the beginning, where I explain everything. But for now, I think I've done right well. I can, oh, I can't have a pixie cut. Jesus Christ, the rumours that have been going round because I've not been active have been ridiculous. If I had a buzz cut, Jesus Christ, but no. And I don't suit a pixie cut because I've got a face like the moon. So, yeah, that's that really. So I will come back very soon with either one of the live shows, Sunday service, Night Time and Ellie, or a review. But we've just at the moment just got to take it day by day. So there you go. So thank you, Flower Pots. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for joining me. Whatever you do with the rest of your day, you know, embrace it, enjoy it, find a little bit of laughter, love each other, look after each other, and good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, wherever you've been watching me from. Mwah.